Mhm. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam. I am your pharmacy technician, work from home mother, and I serve God first. So, I was on my way to bring my daughter some lunch. I had to pack her lunch a little after she left. And God, I always wake up in the morning praying to God, thanking Him for waking me up for another day, uh, just giving me my health and allowing me to bring baby girl to school, and just praying that we get back home safely as we venture out through our days. And I wanted to bring the message about testimony. Testimony. Testimony, testimony, testimony. God shows us testimonies and ways that He is here for us when the devil has tried to seek out for us, or when we go through something very tough in life, how He overcomes our situation. And I wanted to just bring this message to you guys because a lot of people just don't understand when God is truly showing out for us, when He is truly with us. See my cat in the background over there. So I wanted to start off with my own testimony around the time when I was 17 and I was leaving high school. I was feeling sick. It was a very depressing day. I left school early. I wasn't feeling good. And I happened to get on the train with, I'm not going to say she was a demon, but she was definitely dealing with a demon spirit. And she was just yelling at the top of her lungs, yelling. And I'm in the cart with her on my way back from Manhattan to Brooklyn on the Q line, which, once you reach, I forgot what that stop is. I'm going to link it. I'm going to put the name of the stop once I remember. But once you reach that stop and go over the bridge, it's a long ride until you reach DeKalb Avenue on the Q line. So I remember her getting on one of those stops and before reaching the bridge, and she was just yelling on the top of her lungs with her husband, like she it seemed like she was possessed. And I should have, as a good person, or as somebody who walks with God, I was still very young at the time, still getting to know God, still not knowing my situation. And, being from Brooklyn has been very tough on most of us. So instead of switching carts like I should have switched carts and just ignored all that noise. I actually started to yell back. Like, girl, be quiet. Shut up. Why are you yelling? And at that moment, I already knew that I kind of messed up, because that was basically me allowing the demon to point his anger towards me. So when she noticed that I was talking to her, she started getting into an argument with me. I started getting into an argument with her. And it was, she was more than likely twice my age. Her husband was probably twice my age and a few years older than that. And ultimately, I left it alone. But by the time we got to DeKalb Avenue, she got off the train. And that she's like, girl, like pointing at me through the window, like, girl, I'll get back on this train and I'll fight you. I'll do this. And I started kind of panicking in a little bit. So I looked in my bag. I was checking for any weapons that I have, real bad stuff. I should have just left it alone. I learned as I grew up, not to do things like that anymore. Never involve myself in any situation like that. But the minute she ran back on the train to fight me as the doors were closing, her and her husband, I pulled out a pen out of my bag and I stabbed her right here, like right across her eye, whatever, because I was scared. I thought I was gonna get jumped, or I thought something bad was gonna happen to me. So I ultimately just defended myself. I thought it was gonna be over once she got off the train, but again, she ran back on the train to fight me, and that's what happened. So we ended up fighting, and we ended up basically like holding each other until the cops came. And the cops picked me up because everybody just saw that I stabbed her. They didn't see how she was acting. They didn't see the fact that her and her husband could have jumped me. So I ultimately ended up getting arrested for the situation. And I went, at Atlantic Avenue. I think this happened once she came back on decab and the trains closed. The cops picked me up at Atlantic Avenue, and that was my first time getting arrested. That was my first time in some serious trouble, and I ended up going to Central Bookings because of the situation. And I think I spent a night there. It was one night. It was one night in jail, and I was just like, wow, this must be the bottom of the bottoms. Jail is not a place for me. Not prison, not jail. If jail was like that, I can only imagine prison. Like once you reach the bottom, there's just another level of scariness and devils and demons and all types of stuff going on in there. So I ended up getting arrested. They wanted to charge me with a felony, but they realized that this was my first offense, and I was only 17. And at the time, I had blue hair, so they thought I was in a gang, too. They thought I was a gang-affiliated Crip member from Brooklyn, like one of those Brooklyn Crip girls. And I'm just like, no, I just like colored hair. To this day, I still like colored hair. Like, I like coloring my hair, whether if it's red or blue. I know this cat is not... These cats are so bad. Anyways, I'm gonna have to edit that one out. Look at him. My God, why are you climbing my car? Anyways, so they ended up trying to charge me with a felony, but ended up giving me a misdemeanor and coming back, come back and do my court case to have a final hearing on how I would be charged. I believe I ended up pleading guilty to the situation because I was kind of guilty. I should have never done that. I do apologize till this day to God about that situation. And I know He's forgiven me, but it's just, sometimes things make your heart really sad, and it shouldn't I'm almost 30, so it shouldn't continue to make me sad, but I know in my lifetime, I'll never do something like that again. So I ended up, going to court and being charged with a misdemeanor. And when I came back to court, they ended up charging me with 1 day of anger management. That was my punishment. 1 day of anger management and to stay out of trouble because I was 17 years old. So I did that, did the 1 day of anger management. I left it alone. I continued my life. Now it's time for me to graduate high school. And at the time, I was doing my high school during the day, my pharmacy technician classes at night, and I was working for Walgreens during the weekends. And within that pharmacy technician program, they were sponsored through CVS. Okay. And at the end of the training and, the class sessions, they had an externship where you had to work for CVS for a certain amount of time and then go ahead and take your PTCB test. So I was getting ready for that, but in order for you to work for CVS at the time, you had to do a drug test and a background check. Mind you, at the time, 17 years old, I was smoking a lot of weed. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, weed helped me get through school, helped me get through all the things I had going on, especially with finishing high school, pharmacy technician school and working. Like, I had no breaks. So my peace and comfort was coming back and smoking weed and studying. So I was very nervous about that drug test. I was very nervous. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get past this drug test? What am I going to do? How am I going to do this externship? If I don't do the externship, they're going to kick me out of the program. And that's it. I wasted all this time for nothing. So as the days came, I was still very nervous. I did not take the drug test, and I was delaying it until the very last minute. And once I put in my application for the background check, I was still delaying the drug test. I was just like, I'm gonna wait till the last day to figure this out because I know if I take the piss test, it's gonna come back green. I don't know what to do. So they ended up finding out that I had, a misdemeanor, almost a felony, a misdemeanor, because my case wasn't sealed. So they were like, Sam, we're going to have to disqualify you because of this background check that came back, bad. Your background check is not good. So we're going to have to disqualify you. And I was like, huh? Huh? For what? I totally forgot that I had a bad background check. I totally forgot because I had changed my life around for the better. I had changed my life around for the better. No fighting. I dug my head in school. I dug my head in pharmacy school. And I dug my head in working. So I was like, huh? And I'm like, oh. And I had to figure something out. And I was just going to God, like I was crying my little heart out because I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't want to lose this opportunity because of that situation. So long story short, I ended up just basically talking to the program manager like, hey, look, I know I'm not able to work for CVS, but give me some time. Let me figure it out. Let me try to get my background cleared. Please give me some time because I really want to get through this program. And I ended up coming up with an idea. Like, I work for Walgreens. How come I don't just ask my manager? Because I was really cool with my manager at the time. How come I don't just ask my manager to put me in their pharmacy so I can continue my externship and my learning in their pharmacy instead of going through CVS? So I was able to do that. My manager was proud of me, so he transferred me to the pharmacy, even though I was still in my little customer service, position, transferred me into the pharmacy and had the pharmacist train me. So I was the only student that worked for Walgreens while everybody was doing their externship with CVS. And I was still able to get through the program because of God's timing, because of, his loving ways, his forgiving ways. Okay. He found a way for me to continue the program. And out of 30 students, only 11 students passed the PTCB. And I was one of those students because I did not play when it came to studying. I did not play when it came to, making sure that I'm understanding the knowledge and the wisdom that they are putting in front of me. And I look back every single day to understand that I could not have done that without God. I could not have done that without God. I could not have thought of that situation and thought of an exit plan to continue what I was doing without God. So I just wanted to bring this message to you guys to let you know that if you're going through something right now, seek God and He will always have the answer for you. Okay? He will always have a way to His light. He will always show you that everything will be okay. It might be hard at first. It might be, a struggle, but you heal, you get better. And as long as you find forgiveness within Him, you will be all right. Okay. I love you guys. I'm going to continue this video because I do want you to see other people's testimonies. So I hope you guys have a great day. And once I get back home, we're going to work on the other videos of other people's testimonies. Thank you. Love you.
Here's a quick story time on how I literally started my faith journey and my walk with God. It really started in 2022 when God was calling me to take one of the biggest leap of faith that I have probably ever taken at that time. He was basically calling me to leave a job that I was at for 2.5 years, living my life in comfort. Anyone that knows me knows that I was always working two jobs and a side hustle, a job and a side hustle, a job and starting a business, something. Like I always was very self-sufficient, hyper independent, and leaned on my own understanding, living life, in a means to where I could control it. So God caused me to leave this job. I didn't do so. There was turmoil. I had to dip. The whole 2022, I went without a job. Even though I had a very nice savings, I went without a job. Even though I was applying and things like that, I wasn't getting anything. And I'm a firm believer in if God wants you to have something or be somewhere, He will make a way. He will open a door. He will create an opportunity if He needs to do so. So that entire year, He basically was pruning me and letting me know you're in your wilderness season, right? So that was the first time I actually heard Him audibly. And yeah, like life was just lifing. So by the end of the year, I moved to Dallas. Boom. 2023, I'm in Dallas. He gives me very specific, instructions on what to do and what not to do. When I say literally probably 80% of the things that He told me not to do, places to work, people to hang around, the type of people to hang around, the things that I'm to do and whatever, characteristics and mannerisms I'm to have and not to have, 80% of the things He told me not to do, I did. So I spent a good amount of time living in disobedience. And so one thing about God is He will let you know that you can either do what I tell you to do and go where I tell you to do and live in obedience and I will cover you, or you can live your life for the world and, through your own understanding, and I will take my hand off you. So He literally started to show me through dreams that I was living and walking in darkness. So He woke me up, pruned me of everything, stripped me of everything that I was familiar with, prune me and strip me of everything that I had got outside of him, like my place, my relationship, friends, everything like that. And he took it from me, but he's so sufficient, and he's still a redeemer, because he didn't just leave me high and dry. He took it and replaced it with something that was from him, that he could provide. So he also put me in a position to where I had to lean on him and trust on him. So he was also providing manna for me yet again. And manna, if you don't know, like with the story with the Israelites and things like that, when they were in the wilderness, they didn't have food to eat and all that stuff, but God was basically saying, like, no, you're gonna trust me, because day by day I'm going to provide manna for you, food, water, whatever. So he was providing for me financially, you know, everything. Like, it wasn't the way that I wanted my life to look, but I was still good. Like, never missed a meal, never missed a bill, nothing. So here comes 2025, where, you know, we're going through the pruning, we're going through the transformation. I've already surrendered to him. I got baptized. I turned my life around, and I told him, like, hey, yo, look, I understand I have been being disobedient. I don't want to go through that again. Like, I already experienced what it felt like to live my life without you and being deliberately disobedient. I don't want to go through that, like, ever again. So help me. I want to do it right. Give me another chance. So 2025, I really felt like was like my year, like redemption. And that's the word that he had been repeating to me the past couple of days, actually, as of recently. And anyway, so he calls me like mid 2025. You know, I'm working in a salon and all this stuff like that. He tells me to leave the salon, start my business, and then a month after that, he tells me that I'm moving. All of this is within a matter of 3 months. So when he told me to start my business, I thought I was tripping, because I said, well, Lord, I went to school to be a doctor, to work in public health, and to do hair. The business that you're calling me to start has nothing to do with none of that. So this is actually something he told me to start back in 2022. This is something he told me to do back in 2022, but because it didn't make sense to me then, I didn't do it then. So here we are 3 years later. He's like, I'm going to redeem you and give you another chance to try this again. At this point, the amount of things that I have been through with God, it was one of them, like, you either gonna trust him or you not. You gonna depend on him or you not. You gonna have faith or you not. You gonna listen or you not. And you've already suffered the consequences before, and you've lived a life knowing exactly what it looks like to be disobedient. So even though it doesn't make sense, even though it doesn't look like, you know, like, or it didn't look like what I thought, or I'm just like, New York, I had been to New York one time for literally 24 hours and one other time for business. I said, you're calling me to New York, you're calling me to start this business. That's crazy. But one thing I will say, God is so merciful. He's so mighty. He's so powerful. He has been providing for me. He's been making a way for me. He's been providing clients, or he's providing, manna, just whatever. Like, he's just letting me know, I got you. I will not allow you to fail. Okay, and that's just with anything. Whenever God is calling you to do something, you have to trust and understand and know that if he called you to it, he will guide you through it. Sometimes it does get hard. Sometimes you do look up and you like, did I make the right decision? Did I hear you correctly? Did I hear you properly? But I promise you, God will not fail you. God will not fail you. So whatever it is that he's telling you to do, or he's been telling you to do, he's put on your heart, I'm saying, like, trust him wholeheartedly. Like, he got you. He got you. That's all I'm going to say, is he got you. So surrender to God, lock in with God, and just, like, it's time for the elevation. It's time for the new beginnings. It's time for the open doors. So, yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Can I take a moment to be a little personal with y'all, if y'all don't mind? Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to say, and I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, I just want to glorify God, and hopefully this help people to realize that, man, God can take you from the bottom and take you wherever it is that you desire to be. Now, me and that said, I woke up one morning out the blue and just decided, hey, I'm tired of this car. I need another work car. I'm going to go get a brand new car. Just out the blue. I woke up and I decided that. And I went and done it. You know what I'm saying? Went got a brand new car. When I say brand new, I'm talking about brand new. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 2026 ain't even out yet. But I'm not boasting. I'm saying that to say this. This is what I come to say. You know what I'm saying? This is a testimony and all together to showing y'all what God is capable of doing. In 2017, I fought cancer for 4 years. Roughly 3.5 years, I fought cancer. With no idea whether I was going to live or not. I was blind. At the same time, within 2 years, I went blind. So I was blind for another 2 years. Blind for another, I'm talking about couldn't see nothing. Blind for another 2 years. Not one time. Yes, I felt like, why was this happening to me? But not one time I lost my faith in God. I never stopped believing that he would deliver me. I never stopped believing that he would make me an overcomer. I never stopped believing that he would make me prosperous, would bring my sight back and take me to a different level. Never stopped believing that. And at that time, I had a car lot. I had the cleaners. But all that went away when cancer and blindness hit. But I never lost faith in God. I never gave up on God. I never stopped believing in God. Not one time. Not one time. And I felt bad, y'all. I felt hurt, y'all. I felt miserable. I felt dark. For as in, like, why is this going on with me? What have I done that was so bad for this to happen to me? Yes. But I never stopped believing in God. But from there, he has blessed me tremendously. I have so many clients with the mobile mechanic. I have so many faithful clients with the transportation business. I have people that don't mind doing stuff for me on my birthday. That just deal with me with business. I'm talking about just for Christmas, holiday, they just send me money. This is what God can do. This ain't nothing that I'm doing. I'm just sharing this with y'all so y'all will know what God can do for y'all. And how he can bring y'all. And how he can deliver y'all. I woke up from all that. From going through all that. I felt like Job, if you know about Job. From all that, he gave me 10 more than what I had. And I just told y'all I had a cleaners and a clothing store. You know what I'm saying? And a used car lot before all this happened to me. But God can bring you to different heights. If you down, if you out, God can take you and he can lift you up. He can make the world your oyster. Yes, only he can do that. You just got to keep on believing. You just can't. You got to continue to have faith in him. You got to continue to trust the process. I can go on and on, but I was thinking maybe that can help somebody. It's all about helping other people. That can help somebody. Like I say, I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, but God can have you wake up and have you just out of the blue decide that, hey, you want to get something in life, whatever it might be, whether it's a house, whether it's a car, whether it's whatever, a business, whatever. That's how he bless you. And I'm just a testimony. I'm just a testimony of what he can do for you. I hope this helps somebody. I love y'all. Hey, and I'm trying to motivate and encourage y'all and believing and trusting and having faith in God. If you look at the video, you see what he just blessed me with just out the blue. And then he bring it steady bringing people to me. I don't promote. These people find me and do business with me. God is good. I'm going to leave it like that. Believe, trust, and have faith that he gonna bring you to higher heights and higher places. I love y'all.
I'm only here by the grace of God. God still got me here for a time such as this time. God still got you here for a time such as this time. All the stuff that I did that I wasn't supposed to did, all the time that I spent trying to be in the streets, all the time that I spent trying to be something that was not me. Every man right now that is trying to be a street dude that is in these streets, you was being something that you was not, and something that you was never meant to be. It don't matter if, oh, people say, oh, you the realest street dude oh, you really like that, you bought that. You still being something that you not. I ain't saying that I wasn't solid, but I was being something that I was not. I was being something that was not me, because God called me for greater. God called you for greater. I was 16, 17 years old, bro. And I was losing classmates. I was losing homies. I was losing friends left and right, bro. I was losing friends that I knew since elementary, since grade school, since middle school. They was losing their lives to drive-bys, bro. They was losing their lives to stray bullets, bro. And it got to a point to where I was so deep in the streets, doing stuff I didn't have no business doing, in shootouts and all these things, right? Riding around, clutching, looking over my shoulder, constantly on the defense, constantly in survival mode. And it got to the point to where I was seeing everybody around me, bro, losing their lives, getting life sentences, bro, getting 50 years in jail, to where I started to accept the fact that I was next. I started to live like I didn't care about my life, because I knew my life was going to end. And God spared my life, bro. I was stabbed in the back of my neck, bro, by someone that I thought I could trust. Stabbed in the back of my neck, bro. My own homie almost took my life. Almost unalived me, bro. Point blank range. Firearm go off. Just missed my head, bro. Flew right past my face. I'm sitting in my seat on my phone, and he playing with the gun. I see him at the corner of my eye. All I hear is boom, the firearm go off. And literally, bro, God pushed me back in the seat like this, bro. The bullet flew right past my face, bro. I seen the smoke in the side of my head. It happened that fast that I thought I was hit. I thought I was hit, and I just couldn't feel it yet, bro. I'm feeling all around, bro. Thinking I'm hit, feeling my head, bro. I was untouched, bro. I'm not faster than no bullet, bro. But God was trying to warn me right then. And I still was playing around, bro. I still was living this lifestyle, bro. I almost drowned when I was 13. God still got me here. I'm trying my hardest to come back up to the surface. And my head filling up with water, bro. It was hurting, bro. To the point to where I was finna give up. And I literally was like accepting my fate. And right when I said I'd give up and I was just preparing for the worst, I floated back up to the top. All these people that I came to the pool with didn't even notice that I was gone. Didn't even notice that I was still underwater, bro. I came back up to the surface. Nobody was like, man, I ain't know where you went. Nobody cared, bro. But God kept me here for a reason, bro. I got put through a glass table by my own cousin, bro, when I was like 2 or 3 years old. Got stitches in my head. If I cut my hair, you will still see the scar to this day. Busted my head open, bro, and I lost so much blood. I didn't remember nothing after being slammed through the table. I just remember waking up in the hospital. I just remember seeing all these bright lights, bro, and then I woke up in the hospital. God have you here for a reason, bro. If you didn't been in the streets or you didn't been in traumatic situations, bro, that others didn't come out of, bro, that others lost their life to, bro, and God still got you here, he got you here for a reason. Only by the grace of God that I'm still here, and God kept me here for a reason, bro. To be doing what I'm doing now. God still got you here for a reason. Don't continue down that path that the enemy wants you on, but step into your calling and walk into your purpose, bro. Because God got you here for such a time like this. God is raising up his soldiers, bro. God is raising up his army. Men of God, stop messing around with all these women. Women of God, stop messing around with all these men. Men, get you a wife. Women, wait on your husband, because God is raising up his army. And we still here for this time. God got his children here that he hand-picked, hand-selected here for a time such as this. You're not here by coincidence. Those situations that could have took your life, but you made it through, it's not by coincidence, bro. It's all by the grace of God. And it's all a part of his plan. God is not done with you. You here for a reason. Turn from your wicked ways. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Walk into your purpose. Hey, I love y'all. God bless y'all. All glory to God. And y'all already know, Jesus Christ is Lord.
Guys, let me tell y'all something, and I'm gonna make it quick. I'm gonna make it fast. First things first, I've always had faith in God. No matter what, I've always had my faith in God. Literally, no matter what, good, bad, and the ugly. Second, let me tell y'all how God done blessed me, all right? I got in a wreck about a week and a half ago, about 2 weeks ago. It was bad. But the level of intensity of the wreck is where I'm getting at. Let me list down all of my injuries. I got 2 broken wrists, a dislocated middle finger, I got a broken elbow, I dislocated my shoulder, I broke 2 ribs on the same side. On top of that, I had lacerations to my kidneys, my liver, and my spleen was almost split in half, all right? All right. I lost half of my blood. I lost over half of my body's blood. 2.7 liters of blood, almost a gallon of blood out of my neck. I had a laceration to my neck as well, and my skull. So the level of trauma to my organs was the highest level. It was the highest, it was class 4 lacerations, all right? On top of that, the blood was a class 4 hemorrhage. I don't know if I'm saying that right, forgive me. But it was the highest level of both. So not only did I have the highest level of that, I had the highest level of this, which means I wasn't supposed to make it. I stopped breathing and everything. I stopped breathing. I'm here for one reason. I'm here because of one reason. I'm here because of him. He got me through this. So if anybody's out there struggling with their faith, if anybody out there is struggling with finding God or coming closer to a higher power, best believe there's one out there. Trust. Especially my prayer support team, my family, the people that love me and show support, they got me up out of there as well. My baby sister died last April. She covered me as well. I'm telling you, man, God is real. God is real, and don't let nobody else tell you otherwise. That's all I wanted. God bless.